Hey there, friends. Comet Painters Winter Tabletop Baseball channel says hello, and I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to get started with IScore. The only part that I'm not doing is to basically load the app. So you got to go to the App Store, and you can use this. You can use the IScore system to keep track of your game data. It gives you a box score. It gives you everything you need to kind of replay or play games, and then have access to the stats. The stats are recorded, and I'm going to show you. It's really nice in that. Let me give you an example here. Let's of what it's going to look like. So you load the app onto your device. Now I'm using an 8-inch iPad. I also use a 10-inch iPad. You can also use your phone. All right, so this is what it looks like. And then you get a bunch of choices. Rate IScore. No, not right now. And let me give you an example of what a game would look like before I get started in getting you familiarized with how to input your teams for the first time and so forth. Let me go into Game Manager. Okay, that's where your games are. That's where all your games are sitting, in Game Manager. Now I set up a game here. It's replaying the 2001 World Series between Arizona and New York. As you can see, these are all the games that I've played. I'm playing it twice. And right now, I believe I'm playing Game 3 for the second time. And let's go to Game 2 and see what that looked like. That was a wacky game. And let's go to... let's see how we can do this. Okay, we can go to the scorebook for, let's say, New York. Right, we can look at that. And the scorebook is going to tell you, basically it was a shutout, Randy Johnson versus Andy Pettit, and both pitchers were locked in a pitching duel going into the 9th inning when Johnson was lifted for a pinch hitter, and in came BK, the South Korean reliever for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And as you can see, he walked the first batter, he walked the second batter, he walked the third batter, and he walked in a run. Then it was a single and another single, and then he was replaced by, I believe, Mike Morgan, I believe, at that point. That's where that purple line is. So this was pretty much all the scoring in the game. In the bottom of the 9th, right, in the bottom of the 9th, you could see here the Arizona Diamondbacks scored a run. By this time, I can't remember who the pitcher was. Oh, I think it was Stanton. Mike Stanton came in for the Yankees, and he walked the first batter, he walked the second batter, and he walked the third batter. Then it was a 6-4-3 double play, and then a ground out. I've never played a game like this, the wackiest thing in the world. Basically, most of the scoring was done by walks in the 9th inning. So, this kind of stuff happens, anomalies happen. But it was an exciting game. It was a 0-0 score all the way into the top of the 9th inning. So now let me show you what it'll look like. Let me go back, and let's say I wanted to score the game. And I'm going to show you I'm going to undo one and show you what it looks like. Okay, this would be the game. I'm playing the game. The last batter was Damian Miller. He's facing Mike Stanton. And as you can see, it's got a lot of bells and whistles here. It's a lot different, right, than looking at something like this, let's say. Okay, which is fine. I love this. This is great. I still do it. This one I did last week. Okay, it's still fun to do. but then you got this happening, right? So, I mean, this brings it to life, brings the game to life, and it keeps track of everything. I don't have to add up anything. So I can just focus on the game, but that's fine. This is an alternative for guys that maybe want to run stuff and have stats kept for them and so on. All right, you can still do the paper. That's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. You have your lineups on top, your lineups below, the home team, the away team. Then you got your little score board right here. It keeps track of what's going on. Then you got a lot of stuff here that I don't really use. I don't really use that. It's off. It's turned off. But then you have your field. So you actually see Shane Spencer in right, Bernie Williams in center, Chuck Knobloch in left, and Brocious and Jeter and Soriano and Velarde and Mike Stanton pitching and Jose. Now let's say you want to make a change, right? It's real easy, and that's a whole nother tutorial. I'm not going to get into that right now. This tutorial I'm going to limit it to just getting you started and inputting. So I just want to show you as an introduction of what it could look like, what your games could look like. And within this, exit, yes. Okay, so I'm out, I'm going back, all right? Back again, and this is the main screen. This is where you start, okay? This is where you start, and it's good to start a league. You start with League Manager, right? You hit, and add a league, right? I'm gonna add a 19, let me tell you what I want to replay the 1986 World Series with my beloved Mets. I grew up right around the corner from Shea Stadium, 1986, right? So that's going to be the name of my league, 1986. And I could play games with the 1986 season. I have, you can use any system, any tabletop gaming system that you choose to run this. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, so I already created my league. It's going to be active, okay? And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to go to Team Manager because I want to create a team. I got to create 2 teams, right, to start. I'm going to create a lineup for the Red Sox and a lineup for the Mets. So I go to Team Manager and I create a team. You see the teams that I have for my 2001 league, which I did not turn off. If I would have turned it off, I wouldn't see those teams here. It would be blank. So let's create a new team. Let's see. Let me double check just to go back real quick and check my league manager. I'm going to turn off that. Okay, I'm going to turn off my 2001 so we don't see that anymore. I hope I didn't go too fast. I just went back to league manager. And I'm going to go back to team manager. This is where you're going to set up your team. So create a team in my 1986 league. So let's see who. Red Sox were at Shea for the first game. In actuality, so Red Sox. I'm going to put the Red Sox. I'm doing something right now, baby. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to do short name is going to be BOS. Okay. And then I'm going to save. And then I'm going to do another, the Mets create a team. I'm going to put team name and New York. The short name, 5 letters, allows me 5 letters. Mets, that fits, so that works for me. Okay, I got my 2 teams created. Now I got to basically load up the lineups. So let's load up the lineups. Let's go to roster. Okay, you see the roster there on the left? Okay, you're going to go there. You're going to click roster. And it's going to say quick roster. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I always click no. You can figure it out, and then you can tell me. Add player. So I'm going to go up and down, create player. There you go. Now I get to put in his first name. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the Mets lineup for that day on my, let me see. I'm going to look up on my laptop here I have to my left. I'm going to look up the Mets lineup. It was Wilson, Dykstra, and Hernandez. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Mookie Wilson, right? And he's going to be in center field, I believe. No, he's in left field in this first game. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Now, you could add different things, but I'm not going to do that right now. Just keep it simple. Okay, so I save it. I have one player, Mookie Wilson, batting first. I'm going to add another player. And the second player that day in the batting order was Dykstra, Lenny. Lenny Dykstra, and he played center field. Save. Add player number 3. It was Keith Hernandez. Last name. First base. Keith Hernandez, first base. Then I'm going to add, I think it's Darryl Strawberry, the straw man. All right. Darryl, 1L. Strawberry. And it's going to be, there you go. And we create player number 5. That was, oh wait, okay. Gary Carter. Okay. Gary Carter, the catcher. And Gary Carter's playing catcher that day. 'Cause I know he also played first base for a while there. All right, I got Gary Carter. You can also put whether they bat right or left. Okay. Let's continue on down. I want to do at least one team here for you. Ray Knight. Ray Knight is the third baseman for the Mets. Ray. Third base. Next is Tim Tuffle, second baseman. Add player. Create player. Tim Tuffle. Second base. Oh, wait a second. Got to go back. So it's just to go back, you just click on the name. All right, I screwed up here. I just kept on. I never switched. Okay, wait a second. It's not letting me fix that right now. Oh, there it is. I think I had it. There you go. Tim Tuffle. Did I spell it right? Yes. All right. All right, the next batter. Oh, wait. Yep. The next batter is going to be Rafael Santana and Ron Darling. Rafael, add player, create player. Rafael. Santana. Shortstop. Save. Save. Okay, and now the pitcher, Ron Darling. Create player. Pitcher, Ron Darling. Pitcher. All right, now let's say you make a mistake. Okay, this was the thing that you got to learn about. Okay, let's say I actually made a mistake here in that I put Darryl Strawberry batting 4th, and he was actually batting 5th in the actual lineup. So I'm going to move him down. You just put your finger on these little 3 lines, little rectangle on the right, and you hold it down and you just slide it to where you want it. Let's say I made a mistake in Ray Knight. Let's say I'm playing game 2, and sometimes managers will put Tim Tuffle 2nd. Boom, I just put Tim Tuffle 2nd, and Lenny Dykstra will be batting 7th. There you go. So look how easy it is to manipulate, okay? It's great. Now, I just finished inputting the starting lineup. That is probably the most work I'll ever have to do again. As I go and I see new players playing in the lineup, I'll add them. Okay, like in this game, Wally Backman came in as a pinch runner, and McDowell, Danny Heat pinch hit. So I'll add a couple of guys, so once I get into the game and I'm playing, I don't have to start adding them. They'll be there, and I'll remember those are the guys that actually played. Okay, because sometimes you'll have a deck of cards or a set of cards, and it'll have players that weren't around for that game because they were injured that week, or those 2 weeks they were on the 15-day disabled list. So I try to keep it as historical as possible, you know. That's how I do it. Maybe not the best way, but that's how I do it. Okay? So, let's see now. All right, we're done with this. We're going to go back. We're going to save this, because if you don't save it, you lose it. All right, so let's say I want to go back to New York. I want to look at their lineup. All right, I go back to roster, and I know I made a change, so I want to leave this right. So when I go play, Rafael Santana was 8th, and Lenny Dykstra was 2nd. Keith Hernandez, Gary Carr. Okay, so this was the actual lineup in that day. So I know when I go to play this game, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, once I set up the Boston lineup. So I'm going to save again because I just made a change there. And now I'm going to go to Boston. Okay, see the screen? I went back, and I go to this screen. I'm going to create the Boston lineup. Oh, all right. I'm working with another laptop on my left that is showing me the lineups. Oh, I didn't show you. Let me go back. I didn't show you how to add players. Okay, go back to New York, and go back to roster, and I want to add Danny Heap. Right, so I'm going to add Danny Heap because in case in the game the Mets need a pinch hitter, guess what? He'll be there already. I don't have to look and see who pinch hit for the Mets in that game. Okay, Danny Heap. Danny Heap, and I believe he was a lefty. So for this one, who I remember, I'm going to put lefty, bats lefty, and I'm not going to put him as a starter. I'm going to write no there, okay? Because otherwise he'll come up as batting and it'll throw me off. So he's not a starter. He's going to be a pinch hitter at some point. It doesn't matter. I can make him a starter in the following games. If he starts, you just put him in the starting lineup. Okay, but I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to save him, and now I'm going to add one pitcher that I know pitched in this game. It was Roger McDowell. Okay. Roger. I hope I'm spelling it right. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's right. If not, I can go fix it later. And Roger McDowell, I believe, was a righty pitcher. I believe him off the top of my head. Okay, so you see I made a mistake there. Look, I left him batting. So I want to go back and fix that. Say, no, he's not a starter. So he's not going to bat. And there's my pinch hitters. So during the course of the game, I want Danny Heap. Okay? And that's going to be another tutorial. But let's just say I'm in the game and I go to this screen and I want Danny Heap to bat for, I don't know, the pitcher, I guess. Okay, so I put him in the pitcher spot. All right. Actually, I wouldn't do it this way. There's a different way of doing it in the game, so that'll be a different tutorial. But I just wanted to show you. He'll be there for me. Okay, so I just have to make sure I save, because otherwise I'll have to redo those guys. All right, there. Now, let's go to Boston. And Red Sox, Boston, BOS. You know what? I'm going to make that. I'm going to capitalize that. I'm going to capitalize that. I did that. Now I'm going to go to roster. And it's quick roster. No. Add player. I'm going to add player. Create a player. I'm going to create a player. And this is going to be pretty quick. All right. It's going to be Boggs, Barrett, and Buckner. Right? Create a player. Wade Boggs. Later goes on to play with the Yanks. Wade Boggs, he's going to be the third baseman. He's a lefty. And add player, Marty Barrett. I believe it's 2 R's and 2 T's. And it is. And he's the second baseman. And I've got create new player. Batting third is going to be Bill Buckner. Great hitter. Had issues with his knees. And he's a first baseman. Good ball player. Next is going to be Jim Rice and Dwight Evans. Jim Rice. All right. Jim Rice. And he's a left fielder. Oh. Dwight Evans, add player, create player. Oh. He's a right fielder with a powerful arm. Gold right fielder. Rich Gedman, catcher. Gotta create him. He's their catcher. Rich. Oh. Yeah, Gedman, catcher. Then we have Dave Henderson and Spike Owen. Dave Henderson. He's going to be the center fielder. And next is going to be Spike Owen. Spike Owen, shortstop. So, you know, when you use a paper and pencil scorecard, you have to rewrite the lineups a million times unless you're going to play the same game, and then you would just photocopy it, right? In this case, I never have to write these guys' names. I never have to write their names again. And in this game it was Bruce Hurst, who was the pitcher. Bruce Hurst, okay, he's a pitcher. And that's it. That's going to be the lineup. It's right there. Now, they had a couple players that came in. One was Mike Greenwell. He pinch hit, and Calvin Schiraldi pitched. So I'm going to add those two subs so I don't have to do it during the game. It's easy to do during the game. It's not a big deal. But I'm just showing you that I like to have them done. So Mike Greenwell, pinch hit. So he wasn't a starter. So I'll bring him. I leave him as that. And then the other pitcher was Calvin wait, Schiraldi. All right, I think I spelled that right. And he's a pitcher. That doesn't matter. I can write him in as a pitcher later. Save. All right, I got my subs. That's it. I'll never have to do this again. Anytime I want to play for the 7 games that I'll play, hopefully, maybe, it'll be done for me, and all I have to do is manipulate where these guys go as I read the actual lineups that were created, that they played. Okay, as played lineups. Okay, so that's it. So now I have to go back and I have to save this, and I'm done. Okay, so now I can play the whole series, and I can now. So that's how you get started doing this. So let's just say, okay, so my teams are in there. I don't have any more time. I got to go help my wife cook Thanksgiving dinner. So now I'm going to go back. Okay, I'm playing you now, right? I'm going to go back and I'm going to leave it. So this is going to shut down or whatever it does, and then I start it off. I press on the app button and it brings me to this screen. This is the key screen. So I'm ready to play the game. I want to make sure. So, right? I'm ready. So what I did was I was in Team Manager right there. I was in Team Manager. But now I want to play a game. So I'm done really creating my team, even though in Game Manager I can still create my team. But really now my focus is playing the game. So you start off the league, because you can have 10 different leagues, and I don't want them all open, because then that'll confuse. It'll give me players from every team. Some guys may want to do that. I don't want to do that right now. So I'm done with League Manager. I'm done with Team Manager for now. In the future, I could use it to add another team, right? But I want to play a game. I want to play game 1. This is going to be the exciting part for me. I'm going to play game 1 in a little while. So I go to Game Manager. I wait for it to populate. And it's populated already, I guess, because I don't have anything that I've ever played in this league. Okay, so I go up here to the right, add game. Usually I have all games that pop up here, but I've never used this. I just created it. Okay, so add game. So I'm going to add a game, all right? And it's going to tell me, create a new game. Yes, the visitor is going to be Boston, and the home team is going to be New York. There you go, Boston, New York, right? Pretty simple. Now I can schedule a date, and then it gives me options, game name. Game name, I don't know. I've never messed around with that. I can, Red Sox at New York. I can do whatever date it was, 1986 World Series game number 1. There you go. Okay. Done. There it is. Now you're ready to play game 1. Now I can create the whole 7 games, but I don't want to do that because then they'll be all over the place. And but I can. You see that? It says 11, 22, 18. Anyway, all right. Let's go here. So it gives you information, but there's nothing here yet. Nothing really happened yet. So you're going to go to Score Game. And now it gives you the lineup to double check your lineup. Make sure these are the guys you want. This is the way it was. I double check, I look it over, I say yes. Visitor, now that's the home team lineup, right? The visitor lineup, Wade Boggs, Barrett, it looks about right, and that's it. Oop, I hit that by accident. Let me pull that down. So I'm done. Okay, so let's start. Let's start a game. This is what it's going to look like. Now I hit play. Once I hit play, game starts. Okay, there I'm ready to roll. The batter is Wade Boggs. He's a lefty batter against Ron Darling. Okay, so the next tutorial I do, because I've been on here for 25 minutes already, the next tutorial I do will be about playing the game, okay, itself, and maneuvering and making substitutions and so on and so forth. All right, so that's about it. I'm going to exit, confirm the exit. Let me go back a second, and that's it. Okay, so I hope this helps a lot of guys. I'm going to put it out there for guys that, you know, I didn't do this for a long time because I couldn't figure out how to get it started. There was nothing like what I'm doing now, or at least that I could find for tabletop gamers to kind of create their teams doing this. Okay, maybe it's out there, I just didn't see it. So I wanted to do that for you guys who maybe are thinking about it, want to do it sometimes, and other times you could do paper and pencil and so forth. All right, so I'm saying goodbye for now. I'm going to take off, and I hope this was educational, and it'll help you decide whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it this way, or you can have it as sometimes I'll do it, you know, using the iPad, and sometimes I won't. You can pick up iPads from 60 to 100 bucks, and it's worth. This is an awesome way to create score sheets and track stats. Yes, absolutely. And I haven't showed you that, but I will do that in the next tutorial. I will show you how to do create the score sheets and how that works, and manipulate and move players around, because that took me a while to figure out, and it was, you know, it was a little plotting for me and bumpy, but I'm going to try to kind of enlighten people so they say, oh, okay, that's how you do it. Let me go back to this video and check it out. I just hate that these videos they drag on for a really long time. Win loss, yeah, I agree. You know what? It's not the perfect world yet, but it's, you know, it's free and it is what it is. I know there's other guys that use ball stat and something else. This is what I know right now, and I'm teaching it to other guys. Eventually, maybe somebody will teach me how to use ball stat and make it simple. But it may be, you know, watching half hour of this, I don't know if I would be able to watch half hour of this unless I was really, really decided, hey, I really want to do this, so I'm going to watch this guy do it. You can always fast forward the video too, and that's it. So I hope this is helpful for guys that really want to do this but can't figure out how to do it. That's cool, man. Yeah, like I said, I still do the old school. As you can see, I played this game. It was a great game. It was a 2-1 game. Mets won it on Gary Carter's bottom of the sixth home run, 2-1. I still do that, kind of sloppy, but yes, I like this as well. All right, so take care. Thanks for stopping by. Adios.